Ooh, happy Halloween! Ah! I have no idea why the hell that pumpkin was scared of me. I'm not that terrifying, but then again, then again, my face might be that scary because I haven't been able to attract a girl in years. Um, so anyway, after I done ramble with that, so I know I said I was gonna post this review this morning, but things got away from me. I'm sorry. So I'm going to review the third and sadly final season in the Ash versus Evil Dead series. So the one thing I would like to say is that Bruce Campbell at the end of his series said he was done playing Ash. The third season was rough. He apparently got into a lot of fights on set for whatever reason, so he figured it was time to end the act of playing this character. And they went all out on the end of this season that kind of ends on a cliffhanger. And again, I'm warning you, this thing said major spoilers, so if you read this and you're still stupid enough to watch the video, that's on you. So if you haven't seen the series, watch it all the way through, then come back to see me talk about each season. And before we go any further, next week I will do a review on the new Bruce Springsteen album to get back to doing music reviews and stuff. So that's what you get. So the third season starts with Ruby coming back. Only this is evil Ruby. It's easier to figure it out if you just watch the show. It's really hard for me to explain. Um, Meanwhile, Ash he's won over the town. He owns a local hardware store, but all hell breaks loose when he finds out that he has a wife he forgot about and a daughter he never knew about. And this is Ash, and they do explain that he was drunk and got married with this woman in Vegas and blacked out, never saw her at the end. And that's probably that's one of the major story arcs in season 3 is that Ash does end up realizing he had a daughter, and he does the one thing I actually really commend the character for is that yeah, there are a lot of mean douchey things that he does, but I do like the fact that the minute he finds out he had a daughter, he goes all out in trying to make amends. He he doesn't try to hesitate, he doesn't try to deny it. He just jumps straight into, okay, I missed out on a lot of your years. I'm gonna be your pop. And the actress that plays Brandy, Ariel, I can't say her last name. I'm just gonna say her name, Ariel. I think she did a really good job, and you can definitely see some of Ash in her, sort of like the bravery, some of the rebelliousness. She doesn't really have the ego or the stupidity, which is definitely for the best. She definitely got her mother's brains. Um, and the mother unfortunately gets killed in the ensuing Deadite fight at the beginning of beginning of season 3. And that's one of the main arcs of the season is Ash trying to reconcile with his daughter while Ruby is trying to trick Ash's daughter into thinking Ash is the villain here. Which leads to one of my favorite lines where Ruby says to Ash, "Be careful, Ash. We wouldn't want anything to happen to your daughter now, would we?" And then Ash is like, "Well, careful, Ruby. Never get between a papa bear and his cub." So, again, another good quip from Ash. And honestly, Pablo does work with Ash selling a food vendor outside the hardware store. Kelly, I believe Kelly becomes a bartender, and I don't think you really see her until the end of the near the end of the first episode. And they do imply that she's with the Knights of Samaria, some guy Dalton, and it's kind of like the brother of the Cruciform from Last Crusade. It's a bunch of these uh fighters for all that is good and all that is right, you know. And what I do like in this season, is that the ending of it it kind of builds up to a nice moment because Ash and his daughter don't really become one on one until much later in the season. And they're much like season two, they do play around with the idea of people getting killed and resurrected because that does happen repeatedly in this series, this season. And I do like how Ash has to go into the afterlife to save Kelly and Brandy as well. So that was very well done. There was some good tension there. And how does Ash get into the land of the dead? Well, Pablo kills them, of course. So yeah, I mean that kind of goes without saying. And the bizarre evil realm that Ash has to go into. There's this weird shadow monster thing that kills people for realsies. So there was some good tension and some good drama there that really made you fear for the characters' lives. And of course, how do they escape with the Delta getting them out of there? Car Ash uses, so that was fun to watch. Um, Ruby in this one, in the first season, she was mysterious. The second one, she was a hero. This one, Lucy Lawless does a great job at making this character likable and then love to hate in this season. So that was I really like that. They do up some of the gore in this, like Ruby giving a violent birth to a demon baby that's trying to help kill Ash, and I think in the first season the crazy gory scene I can think of was throughout the majority of the first season. The second one, the most crazy fight was Ash fighting with a literal asshole. And in this season, Ash goes to the sperm bank to see if maybe someone else was using his goods to, you know, get artificially inseminated because he's trying to figure out if Brandy is really from this woman that he just met. So, after years of not seeing her. And it's funny, it's such a gross scene, but it's also really funny how during that whole fight scene between Ash and the Deadite workers in the sperm bank, it's funny how they start playing Take on Me from Aha. Because I mean, oh my god. People, uh, that's kind of that is a fun scene to watch. It is really gross considering the semen getting on Ash's clothes, but it is it is actually a lot of fun to listen to that song and just watch Ash try to fight his way with the possessed Playboy magazine and the possessed sperm bank workers. That it was a gross fun scene, which is kind of every other scene in Evil in this series so far, and just the movie franchise. Um, Honestly, to address the elephant in the room, I'm not gonna give away how the season ends, but the cliffhanger, I think it was obviously gonna lead into a season four, but because the ratings were too low for the show, Bruce Campbell had enough of Ash, so it ends with Ash in a cliffhanger that kind of mirrors Army of Darkness, only with a badass car and a nice get up and a sense that Ash might be able to get out of the situation. So if you've seen the series, you know what I'm talking about. If you know about the Army of Darkness ending, you kind of get where I'm going with this. I didn't really have a whole lot prepared because I watched this series earlier in the week and I didn't really have a chance to create notes in my head because I've been working. But I do remember this series so well that I can still give a solid review. Um, I do like how the chemistry between Ash, Kelly, and Pablo, it's still there. Brandy, even though she wasn't introduced until this season, she and Bruce Campbell work off each other very well. What the main strength of this series is the camaraderie between Ash and the other main characters in the show or in each season. And all the acting was very well done. Even though Bruce Campbell was not having a great time on set, he still gave another solid performance as the character. And it is kind of sad that this will probably be the last time we ever see Ash Williams on screen. And they are making another Evil Dead movie with a female lead, which Okay, that's fine. I honestly look, I really don't care if it's anyone we've known or come across before in the series. Just as long as it's a strong female character that has fun, likable charm. I really don't care who they get. Just get us an actress that really works and sells the character. That's all I really ask for in the new movie. So all in all, I guess I can give my overview of the series. I think it was a lot of people were looking for a fourth Evil Dead film. This TV series was basically that, and it did a great job. And its fun factor and entertainment, they had it in spades. They created a very compelling story. They had very strong characters. This could have very easily have just been a lazy cash grab on 80s nostalgia, but they did a good job at creating their own story and developing the character and evolving Ash a little more. Because he does become more responsible as the series progresses, which is a nice arc. And Ash does technically get a happy ending, even if it is short lived, which is nice. But I think this is a great series. I'm pretty sure that if it weren't for the fact that it was connected to the Evil Dead series, I'm sure most people would have forgotten about it by now. And even as I'm recording this video, I'm not sure how much staying power the series is going to have in people's memories. But as an Evil Dead fan, I was very thankful to get to see this, and I hope that they continue the franchise in many great ways. So that's all I gotta say. I am going to look for my cover for Wednesday since it's voting day. No, it's Tuesday. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I can do a cover on Tuesday, and then, well, I'll go back to reviewing movies and albums. So happy Halloween, everybody! And wait, I gotta do this right. Hold on. There we go. Happy Halloween! See, can I get this thing? Yeah. Well, what else can you say but groovy?